Does that work?
All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
It was today an absolutely beautiful day. I spent 8 hours of it on the road, so I didn't get to experience much of it out in the real part, but it was beautiful driving here today, and it's kind of nice out there tonight. Hard to believe it's the 25th of November, and also Rosh Chodesh. Today was the first day of the month of Kislev, so we are through the 1 month of the year where there are no observances other than Shabbat, also known as Mar Cheshvan. But so now we're in Kislev, and that strikes fear in the hearts of all parents and grandparents because it is the month of Hanukkah. So in 25 days, we'll be having the first candles. So yeah, the month of Kislev, awfully warm for Kislev if you ask me, but it's okay. It's all right. I will survive, as Gloria Gaynor used to say. Doesn't have to be that cold. So, all right, it is. The mystics in Sfat would have already had their Kabbalat Shabbat, and then in the midst of the evening service, but we're going to just get started. We're going to be on page 2 and 3. We'll have Judy come up, and we'll welcome Shabbat first by benching lift.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
All right, we're on page 9. Page 9, let's read responsibly in English. Page 9. There are days when we seek for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat we remember that justice is our duty and better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. All right, let's jump ahead to page 20. Page 20, Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi Libra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Lecha Dodi Libra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Yishmi'ahanu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi Libra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech yemelucha, kumitzi'i mitoch afecha, rav lach shevet b'mechabacha, v'hu yachamol alaychem la, lecha dodi libra kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, Itna'ari me'afar kumi, Livshi bigdei tifartehami, Al yad benishai beitalachmi, Korba el nafshi ge'ala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, hitorri, Kiva ore kumehi ori, shir daveri, Kevod Adonai alai nigla, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lo tevoshi v'lo tikolmi, mahatish tochachi matehemi, bach yechesu aniyeh ami, v'nivneta ir altila, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei shabbat nekabela, v'hayu v'shipsa shohosayich, V'rachaku komel v'alayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, ki himsos chatan al kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei shabbat nekabela, yamin u'smol tifrotzi, v'et Adonai taritzi, Al Yahish ben Partzi, V'nismecha v'nagila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Bo'id shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha ufsola, Tochem unei yam segula, Bo'ichala, lecha dodi likrat kala, penei shabbat nekabela. Turn the page to 22, and let's read some verses in English from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, and then we'll sing together Tzadik Katamar. Middle of page 22 together. A song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik Katamar Te'erez Bavanon Yiskeh Shetulim Bebeit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yachrichu O Jinuhu Neseva Yeshevim V'Ra'ananim Yihiyu Lehayi Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri Velo Avlatavo. Page 24. Let's welcome the angels. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seifem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Well, we have welcomed the Shabbos bride this evening, and she is with us. We are now going to jump ahead to page 146, the beginning of the Arvit service for Shabbat, the evening service, page 146, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Let's read together on 147 the three short paragraphs in English for the first bracha before Shema. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding work. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'avim Haravim. Top of 148, the second bracha before Shema. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'kim u'mishpatim, otanu limadita. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shoftenu u'krumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu, v'yorech yameinu, uvehem nege yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat techal tasir mimenu le'olamim, baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta ha'et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh. Asher Nochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shitecha v'veitecha, u'vlektecha b'derech, u'v'shoftecha u'tumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'loichem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 151. Let's read responsibly. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
That the oneness lives our guest, as perfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the hearts, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and events, so we emulate this power of freedom.
Top of 152. Mi kamocha ba'elin Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nohorati lo osef beleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha. Bokeyam lifnei Moshe. Zeli anu v'amruhu. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov. Uga'alo mi'at chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153. Ashkivenu. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Let's read together in the English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft, evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 154 at the top, it's Vishamru. It's not Shabbat without Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. La'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. La'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Yisrael, ohoti li'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. La'asot et HaShabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat. La'asot et hashabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat. La'asot et hashabbat le'dorotam berit olam. We're at the central prayer, the central part of the evening service, the Amidah. We'll chant 155, 156, and 157 together, and then we'll go silently as you can finish the Amidah on your own, whether you read the Hebrew, the English, or offer up your own prayer during that time. But we're going to begin together 155. Adonai sifatai tifkach u'viyagi tehillashecha. Adonai sifatai tifkach u'viyagi tehillashecha. Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Romer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imachot, U'mevig El B'nei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer V'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Yizrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Metim Atarav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei Metim B'Rachamim Rabim. Sohomeh Noflim Verofeh Roholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Achah, Michamocha Malivurot, Umidol Melach, Melech Mimit Umechayem, Umatzliach Yeshua, Teman atah l'chayot eitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei ha'eitim. We're going to jump to page 160. Let's read together in English in the middle of the page. In these hours of rest and renewal, open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Page 163, a little bit of Hoda'ah. Let's read responsibly at the top. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
Strength to do the will with our hearts, our hands, we also praise.
For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow.
All praise to
All praise to the source of being.
Now let's close out on 164 with Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Rasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Rasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Praise to you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevorech et amo Yisrael, Shalom. Let's jump ahead to 253, the prayer, one of the prayers for healing, and one of the types of Mi Shebeirach prayer that we have. If you have anyone who needs a little extra healing this Shabbat, keep them close to your thoughts and in your heart as we prepare for Mi Shebeirach in the middle of page 253. Mi Shebeirach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi Shebeirach Imoteinu Mikor HaBracha La'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Pages 258 and 259, prayers for our community. Dennis, how about the prayer for our congregation on 258 at the top?
Source of all being, may the children of the community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, Shalom levacha b'yirah na'avod. Ed, for our country.
Thus say Illinois, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness, to untie the cords of lawlessness. Let the oppressed go free and to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor in your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness.
Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper.
Amen.
Avinu Shabashamayim, Sur Yisrael, V'golo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Smichat Te'ulateinu, Again Aleha V'yavrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Urecha V'amitcha V'rasheha, Soreha V'yoetzeha, V'takneim Be'etza Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'gomar Amen.
Amen.
David, the prayer for Israel.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield them beneath the wings of your love. Spread over the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week is Parshat Toldot, and last week with the death of Abraham and Sarah and the wedding of Isaac and Rebekah, we now turn our focus to the second patriarch, Isaac. He doesn't get a lot of time in the Torah, unfortunately, about a parsha and a half. He's overshadowed both by his father and by his son. But the story opens with Rivka having difficulty conceiving. Now, this is a trope in the early stories. Sarah had difficulty conceiving. Later on, Rachel will have difficulty conceiving. But she does become pregnant, but it's a very difficult pregnancy. And in one of the great lines of the Torah, at one moment, she has twins. She doesn't know, but then she finds out that she has twins. She says, "Im kain lama zeh anochi." She says, if this is what it is, if this is what it's to be, why do I exist? Right? I mean, she wanted to get pregnant. Now she's pregnant. It's a difficulty pregnancy. And she's just saying, why me? Why me? Isaac, Yitzchak, does something that none of the patriarchs do. He prays with her and on her behalf. He realizes that her having difficulty conceiving and her difficulty with the pregnancy is not her fault. It's not just her problem. He can be there to support her. And so he offers up a beautiful prayer to be with his wife. And ultimately, she has twins. And the reason her pregnancy was so difficult, the rabbis tell us, is that there were two nations battling it out inside of her. We begin the story of Esau, the firstborn. Right? He's hairy, and that's where he gets his name from. He's hairy. Later on, he's known as Edom because he is red. His hair is red. And then the second one is Yaakov. And he gets his name from the fact that as Esau is being firstborn, Yaakov reaches out and grabs his heel to try to pull him back in so that Yaakov could be the firstborn. And it doesn't work. But he gets named after that heel grab. And Akev and Akav is a heel. The boys grow up and Esau becomes a skillful hunter. He becomes a man of the outdoors. And he becomes his father's favorite. Yaakov, on the other hand, well, I never liked Yaakov. I still don't like Yaakov. He becomes a man of the tents. He hangs out with the women in the tents and listens to the gossip. And so there's a rivalry that develops not only between the two brothers, but between husband and wife, because Rivka loves Yaakov. And so this continues a story that will really come to a climax later on when Jacob has difficulty with his sons, where he dotes upon the two younger ones with almost tragic consequences. There's an issue of the birthright, right? Esau comes home from a hunt and he is hungry. He says he's starving. And his brother says, well, you know, if you're really that hungry, I have some stew. And if you're willing to trade the birthright, maybe I'll give you some stew. And Esau says, you know, what's a birthright to me if I'm about ready to die? And so he gives up his birthright for some food. And at that moment, Esau becomes one of the great villains in our tradition. And it's obvious that the people who vilified Esau had no idea what hunting was like back in those days. It wasn't that he went out in the morning and came back empty-handed at noon. Esau probably went out hunting for several days or several weeks. And if he came back empty-handed, it means he didn't eat all that much on the hunt, if at all. And so when he came back and he said, I'm literally at death's door, he might have been. But he gets vilified and his brother, you know, gets glorified. Ah, see, he got the birthright. We take a pause between the stories of the brothers that there's a famine. And Yitzchak visits a neighboring king, Avimelech. And guess what he does to Rivka? He says to Rivka, pretend you're my sister so that it will go well for me. This is the third time we've seen this story. We've heard this story twice with Abraham and once with now Isaac. The first time with Abraham, the Pharaoh takes Sarah into his chamber, and the next morning is visited with a plague. The second time Abraham does it, the king has a dream in which God says, hey, this guy's married, what are you doing? And in this case, Rivka and Isaac, Isaac and Rebecca are sitting outside and they're canoodling. The Hebrew says they're mitzahek. They're playing around. And Abimelech sees them and calls Yitzhak up and says, we don't, if she's your sister, we don't behave that way with our sisters here. What's up? And of course, Isaac tells him, and he says, that's not nice. Don't do that to me. I've treated you well. So Isaac lives amongst the Philistines. He becomes too powerful, and they ask him to leave. And we'll see this once again of our people becoming too powerful, too mighty in the beginning of the book of Exodus, many, many years hence. And peace exists between Isaac and Abimelech. And now we come to the crux of the story, the blessing, the bracha. This is actually stolen from Esau. Esau gave up the birthright. And what the birthright was that the firstborn would get the lion's share of the property when the father died. So Esau, because he is the elder son, he would get the larger share, with Yaakov getting the smaller share. Okay, so Esau gives that up. He gives up his larger share, but he still wants the blessing. He still wants the bracha. And so he is tricked out of it. Actually, his brother and his mother tricked the father into thinking that he's giving the blessing to Esau, when in fact he's giving it to Jacob. And it's a heartbreaking story that Esau cries out to his father, do you only have one blessing? Have you no blessing for me? And he doesn't. There's only one bracha. And the bracha is that you are the one that, you're the guy. You're the one that's going to take the tribes after me. As much as this is a heartbreaking story, Esau is again vilified because of whatever reasons the rabbis come up with. So Esau becomes one of the great villains. We find out that at age 40, Esau marries 2 Hittite women, and this upsets his parents. Yaakov, after his mother hears his brother saying that I'm going to wait until the old man is dead and then I'm going to kill my brother, sends Jacob to Padan Aram. His mother sends him to Laban, one of the great tricksters in the tradition where Jacob learns a lot of lessons. And the Parsha ends on a high note with Esau's third wife. He marries a third wife, and her name is Mahalat, and she is his first cousin. She is the daughter of Ishmael. So it ends with Esau marrying someone within the family. And next week we pick up with Jacob and his journey. There are no mitzvot in this week. Reading, not a lot of mitzvot in Genesis. Actually, there are only 3, and we've already had 2. So, friends, Shabbat Shalom, Good Shabbos. This is your Torah portion in a nutshell. All right, so we are in, I don't know, people don't like this time of year for some reason. The days are shorter, they say, okay, and the weather gets colder. Okay, that's what happens when you live, north of the equator. And sometimes south of the equator. There's what's called seasonal affective disorder, right? People get twisted out of shape because they don't get enough sunlight. All right, but yeah, that's just unfortunately, this is the way of life. But for us as Jews, we should be upset. There's not a major holiday in sight. Right? After the high holidays, we are cold really until Passover. Now we have Hanukkah and Purim, but those are minor holidays, and they don't carry the same weight as the major holidays. So at Shmini Atzeret, we changed one of the pieces of our liturgy, where now we say Mashiv Haruach Umarid Hagashem. Right? We're asking God to make the wind blow and the rain to fall. Now in Israel, this is literally rain. This is the rainy season for Israel, and they need the rain in order to have the soil prepared for the spring planting. But it's also for us. Not so much a physical rain, but a spiritual rain. There is nothing from Shmini Atzeret to Passover. Almost 6 months in which there is not a major observance except for Shabbat. And I say except for Shabbat, but Shabbat is the most important holiday that we have. We do it every week. But it is a dry period. And so even the rabbis considered this period of time right now a spiritually dry time. But it's interesting, Hanukkah is coming. And Hanukkah, while it's not a major holiday, does a little bit to help us navigate this period of time, because we start lighting candles and we start beating back the darkness a little bit, and we engage our spiritual sides during this dark time. So between now and Hanukkah, I want to give us a few things to think about during this spiritually dry time, right? Something maybe to kickstart us, to bring us a little bit more aware. And I call them some spiritual exercises, things that we could do during the week that I guarantee you will make our lives better and will also make Hanukkah better. And so I came up with 3 for this week. The first one is always the one that I have at the top of all of my lists, is to adapt an attitude of gratitude. Now we've just come off of Thanksgiving, where everybody takes that one day and says, I'm thankful for you, Mom. I'm thankful for you, Dad. Oh, I'm thankful for everything. And now it's Friday, and we have forgotten all that gratitude, and especially if you've gone shopping today. All right. We need to adopt the attitude of gratitude every day and start with small things. It's easy to be grateful for big ticket items. This is small things, right? And it's not just being grateful for them, but really appreciating them. I've been to a couple of stores recently and was talking to one of the clerks. And as I was leaving, she said, we appreciate your coming. I hadn't heard that before. I always hear thank you for coming. But when somebody says we appreciate your coming, it's as if they actually noticed you. And so we should appreciate not just things, but also people. And express the gratitude in whatever ways we can. Right? So the attitude of gratitude, that's a big one for me. We need to learn to enjoy the moment. Right? Today I was driving back from my mom's, and the dogs were asleep, and I had the Allman Brothers on the stereo, and all I could think about was how late in the day it was getting. I missed some beautiful mountains that I was driving through because I was so worried about something down the road, making it here on time. I made it on time, plenty of time. I mean, I could have still been on the road a little bit longer and still made it on time. But we need to enjoy the moment. We need to be present, right? So I tell people if you're at services, the way to be present, turn your phone off. Put it away. Don't be looking at your phone. Don't be looking at your watch. Enjoy the moment. Don't be thinking about the early part of the day. Don't think about the later part of the day. Be in the moment. And this is especially important if you're with people. Because if you're always looking at your watch or you're looking at your phone, you're not being present for them. And it's something I work on. We all work on it. But this idea of enjoying the moment, of being with whomever you are, enjoying that moment, just be present. And then number 3 for me this week is feel the connection to nature and others. Okay? And that's a tough one. Mostly we complain about nature. It's too cold, it's snowing, it's raining, it's this, it's that. But nature has an important role, it has an important part. And we should learn to be connected back to it. Right? On my birthday in September, one of the things that I do is I take my shoes off and I walk through the grass. I tell the story about my German Shepherd who taught me how to dance in the rain. Right? Those are the kinds of things of connecting to nature, realizing that we are part of nature, nature is part of us. And so what I might suggest is that you just listen to the sounds of nature. Listen to the wind blowing. Listen to the rain on your windows. I'd say listen to the snowfall, but you have to have really good hearing to hear that, right? And with the connection to others, listen to them as well. Listen to them and hear what they are saying. Don't be afraid of silence. And with people, find the common ground. Find the peace that brings us closer than rather separates us. And with nature, enjoy whatever comes at you, whether it's rain or snow, the grass between your feet, a grasshopper landing on your hand, whatever. I promise you, if you put some of these into a daily practice, you'll see changes. And note, there's nothing in here religious. This isn't something that you have to do, because I firmly believe that you can connect with your spirit, and spirituality is not religion. Connecting with your soul often has nothing to do with religion, and religion can often get in the way. These are just three ways of just connecting with things around you, becoming part of the larger world. Allow yourself these kinds of experience. Attitude of gratitude, appreciating the things around you, enjoying the moment, and feeling connected. I guarantee you'll be glad you did. Shabbat shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
All right, Kiddush for Leil Shabbat, Kiddush for Friday night, the eve of the Shabbat. Vahi erev vahi boker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivav, vayachal Elohim vayom hashvi melachto asher asa. וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ספרי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו, באהבה ורצון, התחילה לנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כאילו יום תפילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Page 282, we'll begin closing out our service this evening. Aleinu. Avenu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'sheit gedula liotzer reshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot hadamha, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומשה יקרו בשמיים בגמל, ושמי אחוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו, אמת מלכנו אפסו לעשות, נתנו לתורתו, וידעת היום להשבך אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, בשמיים נגמל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו. כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. This week we observed the following yard sites: Nicia Blanchard, friend of Valerie White; Simone Corkia Klopp, relative of Miranda Monroe; Karen Sue May Glick, David's wife; Golda Hershkovitz, Diane Shuttle's grandmother; Howard Steinberg, father of Jack Steinberg and Sally Hayflick. Mary Helene Stout, mother of Suzanne Hart. Georgiana J. Ashheim, Ethel Levine's adopted sister. Ann Benenson, Dennis Hamill's aunt. Jacob Levine, Milton's father. Alvin Solov, grandfather of Jason. Harry Angel, husband of Doris, father of Candy and Charlotte. Douglas Schneid, nephew of Tori Witcher. Leslie Schneid, niece of Tori Witcher. Walter E. Wilkins, Alan's father. Isidore Bernstein, husband of Anna, related to Pauline's grandmother. Nicholas Hyman, relative of Bernard Cohen. Mike Meyer, Joan Weisberg's uncle. Jerry Rosenberg, Cheryl Hirsch, and Susie Brodoff's uncle, their mother's twin. Victor Winston, Bell's husband, Robert's father. Dewey Murphy Sr., Scott's grandfather. Peggy Lewis, Walter Jr.'s wife, mother of Walt and Debbie. Samson Finn, Mina Poland's father, grandfather of Ron Poland. Myrtle Friedman, wife to Morris. Isidore Glick, David's uncle. Anna Stern, Rena's mother-in-law. Jean Stern, oldest daughter of Walter and Bernice Stern, sister of Marcia, Kathy, and Wendy. May their souls be bound up with the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace.
Amen.
Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitzchadal, Yitzchadash, Shemei Rabbah, the Amad, Yifrach, Yirutei, the Amlik, Malchutei, the Chaye Chod, the Omei Chod, Uchaye, the Chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalav, Yizman, Karim, Yivru, Amei, Yehesh, Rabbah, Bevorach, Leolam, Omei Amaya, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitzhar, Yitzramam, Yitnaseh, Yitzhadar, Yitzoleh, Yitzholov, Shmei, Yitzhah, Brithu, Leila, Minkol, Birchata, B'shivata, Tushbachata, V'nechamata, V'amiram, V'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shloma Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'yalto Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imrumav, Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'yalto Yisrael, V'imru,
Amen.
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 All right, friends, we are almost finished with services. Just a couple of quick announcements before we close out with Adon Olam. Services tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and then again Sunday morning at 9. We have on Monday evening at 6:30 our deep dive into Genesis. And then on Wednesday, we have the Yiddish choir, the best little Yiddish choir from coast to coast, the choir with the most. This is our Yiddish choir here, and they are having fun learning new songs. So that's Wednesday night at 7, either on Zoom or here in person. And then we're back next week, but next Sunday at 5:30? 5. Okay. At 5.
God, it is a week.
Is the congregational meeting. So you'll want to be here. It's your chance to hear about what's going on and to voice your thoughts about what's going on. So come on out. And there'll be a Zoom link as well, correct? Yeah. All right. We have a little under a week for the sock drive. And I gotta tell you, I am overjoyed. I wanted to get 180 pair. We have over 180. I wanted 360. We have over 360. I'd like to get 540, but we're in the upper 400s right now. You all have really just come out with the socks. If you could squeeze out a couple more pair, it would be great to get 540, which would be 3 times 180, which is 10 times high. You know how that works, 10 times 18. So if we can do it, that would be great. If we can't, I'll tell you what, I wanted 180 and we're well over 400. So Yasher Koach to all who have been giving and donating, whether it's money or actual socks. The money goes, we buy socks, but if you bring socks in, it's great. We also have the food drive. Please make your checks out to the synagogue, and that will be going to the food bank, the local food bank, and that continues up through towards the end of December.
That's it.
Yeah, sock drive is over next week because next Shabbat is Sock Shabbat at Harmony House. So we have a few more days. So let's bring some socks. And I think that is it. Yep. Okay. So let's close out on 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach. B'terem kol yitzir nivra, li'et nasa b'chepsot kol, azai melech shemo nikra, v'yacharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch lahora, v'hu haya v'hu choveh, v'hu yiyeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'ein sheni. Laham shilo lahakira, v'li reshit, v'li tachli, v'lo ha'oz, v'ha'misra, v'hu eli, v'chayoli, v'tzur chedli, v'yetzara, v'hu nisi umanosli, menat hosi, biyomekra, biyado, afkid ruchi, V'efishan v'yahira, v'imruchi giviyati, Adonai li v'lo hira. All right, friends, looks like we have somebody saying hello to us on the interwebs. And let's see. Oh, it's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. Thank you for my surprise on Wednesday. You got it. Glad you are safely back in West Virginia. I got to tell you something. There's a song by Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant Massacre, in which he goes and he talks about having a Thanksgiving meal that cannot be beat, twice in that song. And it's as if he was at my mom's. Mom had a Thanksgiving that could not be beat yesterday. The food was amazing. Mom and Cliff worked very hard. They're both amazing. And so very grateful for them and a Thanksgiving that could not be beat. Not even with the stick. Dennis, it was even better than you. I hate to say it, but it was.
Mama comes first.
Mama comes first. There you go. All right, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Come see us. We'll see you soon. And please be safe out there.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.